Hey Taurus, and welcome to your October 2016 General Tarot Forecast. My name is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully an amazing reading. If you guys like the reading or would like further clarification, you can check out my shop in the description box below, and I would love to help you guys out even further. I have some pretty cool packages to check out, so if you guys have some spare time, be sure to jump over there and check it out. So anyway, let's see what the cards have for Taurus for the month of October 2016. Well, first off, I think that last month, or September, for generally speaking for Taurus, was a difficult month. Not necessarily difficult, but it was probably one of the more heavy spreads that I did for last month. So there was definitely a lot of energy going on for Taurus in September, and it looks like moving into October, things are going to get a little bit easier. It looks like, first of all, there are no major arcana, so it's like, and you guys had like 3 for last month, so it makes me think that you've kind of handled some of these energies, and now you're ready to just kind of heal, you're ready to kind of move forward. You're ready to just, let some of the smaller things come into your life now, because everything has been such a big deal in the recent past. So now it's time to really just let things be easy for a little while. However, there are some heavy minor arcana cards that are in this spread as it is. So at the center of your spread, Taurus, you've got that 6 of Swords in the reversed position. And, it's kind of tough. It's, what can I say? A lot of Taurus are living in the past right now. A lot of Taurus are unwilling to transition and are unwilling to move forward. And they have found themselves stuck in the past. You found yourself stuck in a rut. You've lost the ability to delegate your emotions properly to yourself. You're having night terrors. You've got that 9 of Swords up in the top left corner. You've kind of succumbed to worries, anxieties, depression, insomnia. And then you've got that 2 of Pentacles in the top corner where it's hard to keep anything in balance right now. Every day you kind of wake up with a different mood. You kind of wake up in a different headspace with it all, and it's like, how do you balance it? Well, Taurus, I've got some good news. You've got that 8 of Wands right there, and that's really what's taking everything up. I think that it's now possible to... It's actually pretty emotional. Like, this reading's actually kind of getting me, like I'm just feeling like the energy that's going through my body right now is really it's pulling me down. I've got to be honest, and it's hard. So I think that some of the Taurus out there are really, really have hit some of the depths, and I'm sorry for that, Taurus. You guys are just such a great sign. You guys really look out for the people around you. You are so secure most of the time, but there is such an insecurity moving into October, and it's like I'm almost getting emotional about it. Like that Queen of Cups in the reverse. I actually think you guys might have had that last month as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. There was a manipulation by someone in your life. Things were told the way that they weren't actually, and that's really messed with your feeling of security. And you feel regret and guilt towards the past with that 9 of Swords up there. And you can't get out of that headspace. Going into October, at least, you're just, you want to move, you want to change location. There's definitely, the 6 of Swords is all about changing location. Some Taurus could be trying to move. We've got so much of, that Queen of Cups and that 9 of Swords. It almost makes me think that the move might not be so much physical as it is on a mental and emotional level. You guys are trying to kind of resurface yourselves mentally and emotionally. You're literally trying to like pull yourself up, like what's the saying, from your bootstraps or whatever, and you're trying to really just transform, and you need to, like, this headspace that you found yourself in is not conducive to your future. It's not conducive to happiness. It's not conducive to creating happiness in those around you. But there's hope. There's definitely hope. You know, there's a lot coming in for you, Taurus, in October. That Eight of Wands, like I said, there could potentially be a new love interest in your life. And, you know, it's very early. It's hard to say how it's going to go. But, you know, if it's not a new love interest, you know, you could be taking on new diets, new exercise. You could be getting a raise or a bonus from your job. So there's definitely been things in your life that you have luck with right now. And there are things that are beneficial. And things, what I'm trying to say is there are things that you've put work into that you're now garnering results from, which is great. At the bottom of this reading, you've got that Queen of Swords, and she's a great card. It makes me think you're not thinking too emotional right now. You're trying not to think too emotionally. You want to just be logical about everything, and you want to cut things out of your life. That's what the Queen of Swords is all about. If something doesn't logically make sense, cut it, remove it. So that's definitely ruling a lot of the Taurus right now. And, you know, it might behoove some of the Taurus to think about, you know, what's on the other end of that cutting, you know. Just because it's beneficial for you doesn't mean that the person that's getting cut out just kind of resumes normalcy. But if that's what you need right now, that's what you have to do. There's definitely an aspect of getting past yourself, too. There's some kind of trauma that happened. Like, I'm just so, like, it's so heavy for me right now. Some kind of trauma happened to some of the Taurus out there. You weren't treated right. You know, you might have contributed to the problem, but it seems like you have like a post-traumatic stress disorder to some of the things that were in your life. And now the relationship and dialogue with yourself has been injured, and it feels to you almost as if it's been injured beyond repair. And like to an extent to where you can't feel like this spark of energy. That's this lack of major arcana card. It's like it feels like your life is in a rut. There's nothing like fated or destined happening in your life right now, or that's how it feels to you. I'm not saying that that's what's actually happening, but that's how it feels. It feels as if like you can't really make a change, or you can't make a different impact right now. It's just, like I said, basically stuck in a rut. And that's because of this dialogue that you've lost with yourself. This could also be an empathy for others that you've lost, and you're only willing to serve yourself because you're so desperate to reestablish that dialogue with yourself that, you know, you've been willing to completely sacrifice others for that. And, you know, this sounds, you know, the way that I'm saying this, I don't mean to be harsh towards the Taurus out there. I don't at all. Because it's really the opposite of that. Like, you know, y'all have done what you had to do. But now that you've done these things, now that you've made these sacrifices, now that you've potentially cut people out of your life, what do you have to show for it? What progress have you truly made? Has everything in your life just completely turned around? Has everything just completely gone uphill? Or are you still left the person that you were before the sacrifices were made? And that's where it gets difficult. It's like you always come back to yourself. You always come back to what's inside. And nothing can distract from that. And you start to see that maybe other people weren't so responsible for what was there. You know, I'm going back to childhood. Obviously, we were all had our moments and were shaped by that environment. But as for the adults out there, for the adults who want to blame other people for their problems, you know, you kind of get back to a point where you see, you know, maybe I was part of the problem too. It would also help a lot of Taurus, I think I already touched on this a little bit, to think about the emotions of others. That Queen of Swords at the foundation, complete bottom of your reading, it suggests to me, she's a great queen, but she doesn't really consider people's emotional well-being. She doesn't consider the emotional impact of a situation. Ask yourself this question, Taurus. Have my actions benefited those around me at an emotional level? And then I want you to ask yourself, have my actions benefited me at an emotional level? What if neither of those questions are answered with a yes? I hope that they are. I really hope that the Taurus out there feel emotionally fulfilled and feel that they've emotionally fulfilled others, because it's possible. It's possible, Taurus. I feel so much for you guys right now, because I think a lot of Taurus out there are scared that they've hurt other people, are scared that they can't make amends for that. Or at the same time, they're scared that other people won't make amends to them. And I just want you guys to feel better from this, because I really hope it's almost something to say prayers about or something. I just feel really strongly for the Taurus out there right now. I think what really needs to happen is a lot of Taurus just need to completely revamp how they handle the emotional structures in their life. You're lucky because you've got that Six of Swords right there in the middle. You need to turn it. You need to kind of channel this energy differently. Instead of trying to run away from all of your problems and expecting that, they'll just get worked out by magic. Face them. Journal about them. Work them out. You can't escape everything in life. That's the thing about emotional problems. They're not like material problems. They're not necessarily even like health problems. They can't just be completely diverted. You can't take a pill. Arguably you can. My philosophy is you can't take a pill to fix emotional problems. Likewise, you can't just turn your back on them and expect them to magically go away. A lot of Taurus have turned their back on some things, and this was kind of a defensive strategy. But the key for this is, and what Taurus need to do and look at in hindsight, what good happened when I turned my back is the question of the day. Did that suit the higher needs of myself and those around me? Okay, Taurus. It's heavy for October, I'm not going to lie. I think that a lot of this has to do with the past, though. I'm not saying that this is going to be an everyday struggle for you in October. It just really came straightforward to me in one way. And I'm not criticizing you guys at all. I think that you guys have what it takes to get past this. This could be someone else in your life. This could be something that you're having to deal with vicariously through someone else. But you guys have what it takes. You guys have the ability, the sturdiness, the security, especially the security. Taurus has probably the most abundant security, whether it be financial, physical, health security, whether it be and emotional too. Taurus is always searching for emotional security. You've got that Taurus-Scorpio axis. Scorpio represents the emotional security and Taurus represents the physical security. So Scorpio will always be looking for that physical security and Taurus will always be looking for that emotional security, and it's hard for them to both find. And it just really comes down to facing it, Taurus. And accepting it for what it was, not letting your mind making it into something that it wasn't. Not letting yourself succumb to paranoia, not letting yourself succumb to even creating facts that did not exist. Creating false narratives for yourself to justify your actions. Where's that going to get you, Taurus? Anyway, I really hope that you guys didn't take this reading the wrong way. I mean it in the most positive of lights. That's what tarot does for us. Sometimes we kind of see our hidden demons. You know, I've got Taurus placements myself, and it makes me think about some of my own actions and some of my own things that have been going on. So I hope that we all have luck dealing with this. I hope that we can all move forward, and I hope that we can all finally just face the facts of life. Have a great October, Taurus. And if you guys would like to start a discussion below about these cards, how you feel about this spread, I would love to hear, because this was a hard one for me. I mean, it's not hard per se, but it's like, how do you communicate these more difficult archetypal energies in a way that helps people? So if you guys would like to add anything to it, I would love to see some comments. Otherwise, I would love for you guys to also check out my shop, linked in the description box below, and have a great October. Bye.